نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله قال سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين آمنوا أشد حبا لله بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. In this beautiful ayah of Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defines you and me in a very beautiful way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us as wallazina amanu, the people who believe. When you know that somebody is really, really good in economics, you call him economist. When you know that somebody is absolutely wonderful in physics, they're experts in physics, you call them physicist. In the same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining you and me as wallazina amanu, as the people who believe. And the characteristic of those who believe is that they have extreme love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ashaddu hubban lillah. They have extreme love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the characteristic that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defines us with. In writing the tafsir of this, one of the earlier mufassirin, Ibn Abbas, he writes in his tafsir that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Jews in the Torah. And he mentioned them 2 times. What did he mention to Jews 2 times? He mentions وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا 2 times for Jews in the Torah. And the Jews got so rejoiced, they got so happy, they started calling themselves Son of Allah. But we are the Son of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned you and me in the Quran as وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا more than 70 times. How many? More than 70 times. But unfortunately, we don't feel that. Unfortunately, we don't feel the same connection. We don't rejoice on that وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. When Allah is calling us 70 times, we don't feel that in our heart. That is the situation of us. That is the situation that I'm trying to illustrate. The point I'm trying to illustrate is that Quran is not merely a book to be recited and translated. Quran is something that needs to be read and heartfelt. You have to live and experience Quran. So there are experts in the words of Quran who can recite. The experts of recitation, words of Quran recitations are called Qurra. They are scholars of Tajweed. There are experts in the meaning of Quran. They are called Mufassir. They understand the meaning and they help you understand the Quran, Mufassirun. And there are people who are living the Quran. They experience the Quran. These are people, Salihin, Sadiqeen, Rabbaniyin, Awliya. They live Quran. These are all the words mentioned in the Quran, by the way. So today, our condition is that we read it. Quran is not merely for reading and translating, but understanding and living. That's the point I'm trying to illustrate here, that we read Allazina Amanu, but it doesn't make an impact on our hearts. and we talk about ashaddu hubban lillah. You have the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want to go one more step ahead. And I want to say that we not only lack the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we are also far away for something called as Quranic humanism. What do I mean by Quranic humanism? If you go to Quran and search for the keywords of insan and ins, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining who are the humans, look for those verses in Quran. I'll give you two verses. Verse number 1. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O humans, not mu'mineen, not people who have iman. What does Allah say? Ya ayyuhan nas, you and me, humans. Antumul fuqara'u ilallah. You all are absolutely, utterly dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that to be human, you have to understand that you are absolutely in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every moment of your life. You need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why I think that secular humanism is so perfectly designed, because what does the secular humanism teaches you? It teaches you that, at its crux, it teaches you that you don't need Allah in your life. So it started, the separation of church and state started as a political ideology, but it moved on to remove anything to do with Allah from the public space. You cannot talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the public space today. God has been removed from the public space because the secular humanism teaches you that you actually don't need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your life. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I think they have read Quran. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that in order for you to be human, you need to know that you are absolutely dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all are. Every moment of our life we are dependent. Not only 5 times a day, not only on the Jumu'ah, but absolutely we are dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every moment of our life. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls a Quranic human. Not even the people of Iman. What does he say? The Quranic human. What does he say? Antumul fuqara. Fuqara is faqir. So if you go back to India, Pakistan, Egypt, wherever you are, wherever you go back to your home, you see there's some people who are called faqir. They beg. Most of them do as a professional, but there are some people that you come across that are, when you look at them, when they come across you, the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they carry themselves, you feel it, that this guy is really needy. I should help him. This person come across you as a genuine faqir. And this person, when you look at him, you know that this guy is genuine faqir. That's how you're supposed to be vis-a-vis Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We tell us Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, I am faqir. I absolutely need you in every moment of my life. To feel, to experience, to know that I am dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to be human. Is to be human. Not just even a Muslim. It's to be human, knowing that I am dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's Quranic humanism. Ayat number 2. I'm going to give you a second ayah. وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the purpose of the creation of man and the jinn is what? إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, to be worshipful servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what does the worshipful servants mean? It doesn't mean that you got to be praying 24/7. There's a different creation created for that, which is called angels. To be worshipful servants mean that being conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. being self-awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that you are a worshipful slave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to view yourself, to know yourself as a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is nothing but human. But to not think yourself as a servant or anything else, the identity that we should hold ourselves, that I am nothing but I am the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the identity of being a human. The poets, the old Arab poets, they used to compare the animals. They used to love to compare the animals with humans. They used to say in their poems, they said that, oh human, do you see how a dog bravely serves its master? Oh humans, do you see how a horse valiantly serves its master? What happened to you, human? Can't you be even like a dog or a horse to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What happened to you? Ma gharraka bi rabbikal kareem. What happened to you, humans? Now let's come to Iman. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. What does it mean? People of Iman, they have shadid, extreme love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Unfortunately, let alone extreme, we lack even the mahabbah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are a couple of reasons why people don't love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Reason number one is they have the love of ghairullah in their heart. The love of wealth, the love of materialistic world, the love of their own accomplishments, the love of their own achievements, the love, the ujub, the vanity, the conceit, all that stuff is filled in the heart. The love of the what you can call it, the impermissible love of the other gender. Whether it's real, whether it's cyber, whatever it is, but loving something that's other than outside nikah. When you have this kind of love in your heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it absolutely clear. Allah doesn't take roommates. Until you take out that love of ghairullah from your heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I don't take roommates. So once we clean ourselves, then you will see the love of Allah coming into your heart. Astaghfirullah. Anything that is love for the sake of Allah, anything that is love for the sake of Allah, whether it's your family, which can be construed as permissible, which is allowed, which is construed as something that is allowed, it is the part of loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But anything outside that is construed as illegal love, impermissible love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how do you know that you actually love something? What is the test for this? The test for loving something is that if you know that you have an opportunity to get that thing being with someone and you misses that opportunity, then you feel sad in your heart. That's when you know that you actually love that being or thing. For example, if I tell you that last night at the Best Buy, I got a MacBook Pro for $500. It was on sale. you will ask me, why don't you call me brother? I would have loved to get that MacBook Pro for $500. I know it's $1,800. You got it for $500. Why didn't you call me? I said that, it was 12 o'clock in the night. How would I call you? No, I wanted that. Why didn't you call me? I would have come, stand in the line and get that. You think about this. Now you're missing it. You're sad about it. Then you know that you have this love for this MacBook Pro in your heart. But if I have to tell you that last night that I wasn't able to sleep after tipping and tossing for a few moments in the night, I decided to wake up and pray 2 rakat tahajjud. But I'll tell you that this was the best salah I had. There was nobody around me. I was feeling the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in my heart. I recited some Quran. It was the best time that I recited. I was feeling like I was getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I was making dua, I was crying. You would say that, you tell me something new, brother. What's new? Tell me something new. That shows us, when I look at the person who is missing the Fajr Salah. He wakes up at 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. Now instead of feeling that I missed the Fajr Salah, 8 o'clock, 8:30, instead of making the wudu and making up the Salah, I'm looking at the clock, I'm saying that it's 8 o'clock, 8:30, I'm a professional, I'm a student, I need to get my breakfast, I need my energy. I can't do both. I have a choice, but I can't do both. So rather, I pick a breakfast over the remorse and shame that I should have had in my heart and sit down and could have made up that prayer. I chose breakfast over it. What do you think this is? Do you think that if somebody have the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would have said that I missed the Fajr, I need to make up immediately. I will make up, and next morning I'm going to make sure that I have an alarm, not one alarm, I'll put 2 alarms, I'll make sure I wake up for Fajr. I will not miss this again. That's the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, how do we increase our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What do we do? The scholars talk about 3 points that helps us increase the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 1 is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala often. Zikrullah. The more you remember Allah, the more you will love Him. The less you remember Allah, the less you will love Him. The more you remember outside Salah, the more you remember Him inside Salah. The less you remember Him outside Salah, the less you remember Him inside Salah. I'll give you an example of a friend that I know. He's a doctor, he's a dentist. When I went to his office, mashallah, he teaches me how to weave your day with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I was sitting watching the brother. He completes, he has like set of appointments during the day, 9 o'clock, 9:45, 10:15, 10:30, medical professionals. His brother, as soon as he completes his appointments, he comes sit down on his computer, he makes dua. He recites his zikr. He says that, Ya Allah, I treated this patient. I did my best, now you take care of him. Then he looks, who's the next guy? Then he makes dua for him. I'm going to start my treatment on this person. Please help me. I think this is the beautiful way that this brother taught me in 30 minutes I was there, how to weave your day with remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very easy. Number 2. Number 1, zikrullah. Remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases your love. Number 2. This is the ayah of Quran, I think, that answers many questions that comes into mind of young people. I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, if you claim to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you aspire to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you may think that the relationship with Allah is a private matter. You may think that why do I need to go to anyone? I will go directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You may think that why do I need to follow an organized form of religion when, okay, well, why do I need to do that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers this in this verse of Quran. You love Allah, you claim to love Allah, you aspire to love Allah, then follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fattabi'uni, follow me, follow the Prophet. There is no other way of what to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala other than the following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How do you follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? If you have seen a cow and the babies of the cow following the cow, it's called calves. If you see how they follow their mother, if the mother goes right, they go right. If the mother goes left, they go left. Step by step. That's how they follow. Fattabiyuni. This is how we are supposed to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam if we want to gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then what will happen? You say, oh Allah, Ya Allah, I do this. I'm following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yuhibbukumullah, meaning that it's not that you are loving me, no, I become your beloved. You become my beloved. I will start loving you. It's forget about you loving me. I'll start loving you. Yuhibbukumullah. That's what it means. What does a person need? What is the purpose of the life of a person if Allah starts loving him? Is there anything else that a person needs other than the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I request brothers to move forward a little bit, inshallah. There are people waiting at the door. So if you can make some space, move forward, inshallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you become my beloved. When you start following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the principles that he gave us, the values that he gave us, from the zahir, from the batin, every step what he did, I become your beloved. You become my beloved. And number 3 is the talab. Talab is, I really want this. We all ask for good life. We all ask for a good car. We all ask for a good job. We all ask for a good home. But there are very few who ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His love. There are very few who ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His love. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His love. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, allow us to love you. And you start loving us. You know why? In the creation of humans and animals, if you see the example of a mother, how a mother loves his child. When a mother loves his child, the mother knows when to clothe. The mother knows when the child gets hungry. The mother knows how to feed the child. The mother knows how to protect the child. The mother can see the pain in the child. The mother knows when you're going to get in trouble. The mother knows how to pick you up when you get dirty. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If He starts loving you, what do you think He's going to do to you? He's going to protect you. He's not going to let you, when you get in trouble, He will know how to save you. Do we not want that protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we not want that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to look at us and look at our pains and take care of them? What else a person wants other than the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because when the mother loves, it doesn't happen that when the child falls in the garbage, the mother doesn't take and throw it away, but saying that you fall in garbage, you are not my child anymore. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He starts loving you, when you fall into sin, when you make mistakes, He's not going to take you and throw you away in Jahannam. When He loves you, He's going to pick you like a mother picks. The mother cleans up the child. He bathes it. And she hugs him. And we expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He loves us, when we make mistakes, when we have the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have the hope that He will hug us. He will protect us. He will not throw us in Jahannam. We make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, give us your love. Ya Allah, allow us to love you. We know that we are far away from this ayah of Quran, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. We are lacking in so many ways, Ya Allah, but you are the one who's going to forgive us. Ya Allah, you are the one who's going to protect us. Ya Allah, protect us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, there are people in this gathering who have gathered here on the Friday, for the Friday prayers. Ya Allah, there are people here for their entire life, they have made sujood, they have stand in Qiyam, they have seen many Ramadans, they have seen many Jumu'ahs. Ya Allah, their hair have turned gray, asking you for your forgiveness, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, on their behalf, you forgive this entire gathering. Ya Allah, there are sisters in this group who wake up for tahajjud, raise their hands and ask for the forgiveness. Ya Allah, you forgive us. Ya Allah, on their behalf, you forgive us. There are children in this gathering, Ya Allah, who have probably never sinned in their life. Ya Allah, accept their du'as. They are raising their hands to you, Ya Allah. Accept their du'as and forgive us, Ya Allah. Give us our love, Ya Allah. Allow us to be people that you want to see as us. Allow this community to be the people that you expect of us. Ya Allah, do not leave us alone at the hand of enemies. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون أقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Still strong up our lines. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. وإذا قيل للذين اتقوا ماذا أنزل
أنزل ربكم قالوا خيرا للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة ولدار الآخرة خير ولنعم دار المتقين جنات عدن يدخلونها تجري من تحتها الأنهار لهم فيها ما يشاءون كذلك يجزي الله المتقين الذين تتوفاهم الملائكة طيبين يقولون سلام عليكم ادخلوا الجنة بما كنتم تعملون الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
couple of important announcement, inshallah. On February 4th, we have a volunteer drive. You all are requested to look at the board and sign up for volunteers, please. It's going to be after Zohar Salah on February 4th. There are multiple teams that we are forming, so please join us on February 4th for the volunteer drive. Second thing is that we have a form that's open if you would like to join the Imam Selection Committee. So as you all know that we are looking for a new Imam. So we have a selection committee that's being getting formed. So we're going to have 2 members from Shura, 3 members from the community. So if you want to be part of that, please join so that we can have a committee that selects an Imam. Then that recommendation will go to the Shura and the final selection will be made. You will be still part of the selection process because the candidates will come here. They probably will give the Jumuah Khutbah or a Khatira or lead the Salah here. So we'll have an opportunity to give the feedback. But if you want to be part of the committee, Imam Selection Committee, please join us. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.